this is the detour. We're actually on the Withlacoochee State Trail right now, because this behind me is the road that leads into our neighborhood, and as you can see, there's just water all behind on the road there, like several feet, and on up the road there's a cow pasture that's actually already underwater as well. So the river's continuing to rise after Hurricane Irma, and luckily we have a detour to get us around to our house.
So this is the road that comes down and connects to our street. At this point, it's 4 days after the hurricane, and it's already so deep that only large vehicles can go through it. And if you look on the right, you'll see a house for sale sign that we used as our rain gauge.
And then this is the same spot 5 days later, so it's 9 days now after the hurricane. And as you can see, the road is completely covered. As we pan around, there's no way any vehicles can drive through it at this point.
And at one point, I actually was going to drive my Jeep out of there, but my wife talked better sense into me, which kept me from doing that. So I said, if I can't drive the Jeep, I'm going to take the kayak out. So she even tried to talk me out of doing the kayak too, but I am a little bit hard-headed. So I got my kayak out and got some strange looks when I first put it in the water, started paddling down. I wanted to get a better assessment of how much water there was in the neighborhood, plus I wanted to get some GoPro footage of it as well, just to show you guys how deep this water really was.
I never thought I'd say I'd be kayaking down the road.
We've slowly watched this road behind us come up. There's a for sale sign right here that started out, it was, we've been watching it creep up, and it's actually covering some of the words now on the bottom. So we're not sure how much longer this is going to rise, but it's going to take a while to go down, and we really feel bad for our neighbors that live along the river. Hopefully a lot of them have stilt homes so that their damage is minimal.
So one of the things I noticed about the river right away was the smell. It had this awful smell. And I'm coming up on that street sign here on the right hand side by that gate that we use as our gauge, where you can see the water coming up to the bottom of the sign, where before and just a little bit ago you could see quite a bit of space underneath of it. So I'm paddling down our street. At this point the water's probably, I tried to stick the paddle down at one point. I couldn't even touch the road. That's how deep it was. And as we come up on the right hand side, you can see that the water is right at about the top of the gate and almost all the fences. In fact, as I get a little further down, there's some spots where you can't even see the fence at all. And I could, if I wanted to, I could actually paddle over the fence into that person's yard. But I obviously didn't do that because that would be trespassing, and I don't want to be trespassing in somebody's yard when their sense of awareness is already up because of all the flooding.
Well, we've only been here for 3 years, so it's the first time I've ever seen it this deep.
No, I've never seen it this deep.
Oh yeah?
My parents have lived up here for 30-some years. Never like this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I want to get up here and view the cow pasture.
Oh,
Get some footage of that.
You can't even see the fence.
Yeah, I know. We can see from the trail.
Yeah.
But I want to be on this side so I can.
The guy that has, I don't know if you saw the Jeep the other day, it was buried.
Really?
Yeah, he came around the corner, they said he was messing around a little bit, and he come around the corner. I guess he didn't realize the ditch was there, and he water in the car. So he had a Sunday big 4x pulled him out.
Yeah.
Got him out of there. So.
But he was up to like.
Yeah, had it not been for my wife, that probably would have been me, because I almost drove through this in our Jeep.
Tried to that day.
My wife talked sense into me.
I said, blah, 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 blah.
Exactly. Yep.
Once you get past those cans right there,
It's deep. Yeah.
All right, so I can get back in the kayak then?
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
So after I had that conversation with those people, I hopped back in the kayak and started heading back towards the main road. And here you can see how quickly it got deep. You can see right here it's up to the fence posts again, and there's people's houses all the way up by the river are flooded. And as I was going down, there was many mailboxes on the side where the river was literally just below the mailboxes. And on the left-hand side, you see what used to be a cow pasture, but there's so much water there now it actually looks like a lake. At the point when I'm kayaking through here, the water is actually a little bit below some of the mailboxes. But when I was kayaking by, I could see that there was inside the mailboxes that didn't have doors, there was debris inside of them, like little pieces of wood and stuff. So at some point, the water was higher than the mailboxes themselves. So just to kind of give you a perspective of exactly where this is and how deep this is, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you video of us coming back from the church the day after the hurricane, mixed with me kayaking down that same spot so you can get an idea exactly how deep this is.
Here comes my husband. There's a catfish right up here. Catfish right up here.
Really?
He was, it's not beached. He was concreted, so I pushed him back in, but he's still up here. Right there. Oh, you just beached him. Put him back in. He's a baby. There we go.
Fun stuff.